Are you ready to take ideas and convert that into income? Something that everybody from 9 to 5ers to professional consultants who want to productize into software, let alone VCs and private equity who they wish could find a way to find winning ideas before they approve any funding towards them or approve any investments to them. I'm going to show you what's usually locked behind our program for completely for free here on YouTube. And I'm going to show you the process we take to take an idea and convert it into revenue at the end, all in this one masterclass, this one video. Yeah, it's going to go from something like this, which a little messy, but I made it pretty on the whiteboard for you. And I'm going to show you how it works. And you'll see the steps right here. The bottom one being delivery, product development, fulfillment is not within the scope of what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about getting pre-sales to an idea. And you do not need a product or an MVP to generate income to an idea. Doesn't matter if you're selling to large businesses or whether you're selling to the end consumer, you are going to be able to generate income from an idea. We're going to empower all of you to be able to do that completely for free. And first, we're going to notice you start off with one, having to realize this is true and it's real. Because if you don't even think it's real, there's no point in you watching this video, and there's no point in you trying if you're going to half-ass it, not care. You're going to go in thinking like, oh, I can't. I'm just going to sit back and just not do anything. I'm going to work on it in the meantime, do some research. And you're going to sit there and research for the next year or two. You probably haven't done anything. This is going to require action if you're actually serious about getting started, if you're serious about taking something to market. You can have someone do this for you, or you could do it yourself. And if you want the skills, you can do it yourself. But all the details will also be in the description for our programs, our links, the free resources, all that stuff will be down below for you to check out. So one is the mindset that this is real, which is critically important. Next is your ideas, because if you have a job, professional consultant, anything like that, you work in a VC company, you work in private equity, you have a lot of ideas that come your way. You have a lot of things you need to assess, opportunities you need to gauge, whether they're worth it or not. And then once you have that list of ideas, you're going to go through and validate market demand at the surface level, which is all you need to do, 10 minutes maximum. When I tell you what you need to look at, the 80-20, because you can go down the rabbit hole for the rest of your life and the market would have changed. But you're looking for today, right now, is there demand for this product? Then you want to take that demand, create an offer around that. Essentially the solutions. So you have an idea, you know that people want it, and you're going to create it in a compelling way that makes people say, yes, I'm interested. And then you're going to pitch it to them, which could be through email, through phone calls. The more effort you put, the bigger your reward will be at the end, which is a sale. I will show you the scripts. I will show you the templates. I will show you the process we use, and I'll show you the websites we use, which can change, but as long as it gets the job done, that's from now. Starting off with how you need to think about selling an idea. When you're selling an idea, you're not selling something real yet, and you need to be okay with that. You need to be selling the opportunity of taking somebody from their current state to their desired state. That's all that sales and products really are. They take an existing state, and the purpose is to make it into a better, profitable, achieving some kind of goal, a different state. That middle is your product. And then before that is you need to convince them that what you have is worth it and it works. And if you're not a professional, if you're not somebody who's great in their field, you're just thinking of random ideas and you don't really have any expertise in anything, I strongly recommend you don't do this and you actually get some skills in sales and marketing and product development. Because if you're just going to half-ass a bunch of stuff and try to get people's money, then this is not something you should be watching. And I recommend you click off the video. So in terms of ideas, What makes an idea good or bad? Well, if people want it, it's a good idea. If people don't want it or don't know if they want it, it's also a good idea because a lot of people don't know what they want. You can do interviews all day with people who are your ideal prospects, your ICP, your somebody who you're going to be targeting. They don't know what they want. You're asking people with a problem and you're almost telling them to come up with a solution themselves. It doesn't make any sense. And for them to give you an interview on a solution that they have never used is also just dreaming, and you're just in dreamland. It doesn't make any sense. The only reason you ever do interviews is if you already have clients, you're trying to bring a new product to market. That's the only valid thing you can do, and maybe gauge your pricing from that. That is about it. For the general people who are going to be watching this video, even if you're working at an institution, PE, VC, consulting, this is all you really need to focus on. I mean, there's even the great marketer, David Ogilvy. He said the trouble with, I think it was like the trouble with the market research is that people don't think the way they feel. They don't say what they think, and they don't do what they say. Or that saying where, look at what they do, not what they say. So what someone does is what matters, not what they say. And if they're willing to pay for something, that's what matters. Doesn't matter if they say yes or no. Some people even ask their family. Like, how you ask your family if you think your idea is good enough? There's no way you should be getting any feedback from people who are not the ideal prospect from you. And even if the ideal prospects, you shouldn't even be asking them for their opinion. You should be asking them for a deposit. Let alone your family, let alone your friends, let alone your coworkers, anybody who is not the target persona. His opinion does not matter, including yours, including mine. The opinion doesn't matter. The willingness to pay, the transaction being completed is the only thing that matters. Now that we cleared up the mindset aspect, we're going to talk about the ideas. Now, I'm going to just ramble a couple ideas and I will show you what they will kind of look like. And you might even just have them sketched out in a notepad, in your document, in your report that you might get every month. So I'll show you a list right here. Real quick, if you're in private equity or a VC ops lead or a coach, consultant, or expert, and you have initiatives or ideas, startups you want to take to market, we have a more elaborate program down below. You can check it out. Back to the video. All right, now we have some ideas put out there, things that I've actually seen as well. And I want you to check and see which one do you think is the one that has the highest likelihood of being a successful product, successful business at all. Like, these are all ideas, just worded a little differently. I know it might be a little obvious, but if you had to guess, where is the best idea out of all of these? All right, not going to take too much longer. Should be obvious. It's number 4. It's talking about call booking software. Talk about, oh, I have a great idea for a scheduler for brick and mortar companies. Oh, I'm in software, so they're all software examples. But I have a B2B lead gen software idea. I have a hotel restaurant booking software idea. Let me say software for landscaping businesses generating over $500,000 a year with 5 employees minimum. Then you know who you're talking to. You know what the solutions could be. You know what problems they could have, more importantly. And you know what would entice them to take an offer, to take them from a clear pain point to a better position to be in. You know what these people would want. Hotel restaurants, I mean, software, ambiguous, is vague, it's not really clear. If you're talking to everyone, in the end, you're going to be talking to nobody. No one listens to somebody who's just like, oh, like, I can help you do this. You have to be able to say, I can help you get call bookings through my software, versus saying, I can help landscaping businesses that make over 500 a year and have 5 employees minimum increase their sales momentum, decrease their sales cadence, increase the revenue per client, increase the amount of bookings you get per person, increase repeat business year over year. There's a million things you could do when you get specific to who you're talking about. So first part about an idea, make it specific. Who is the person you're helping? That's number one. Who am I even helping to begin with? And when you know the who, then we go to the next step, which is the market validation. And that is actually the purpose of market validation is to look for problems. You're doing problem validation. You're validating if the issue exists and is real. You're not here trying to guess. You're not here trying to call, but market validation is validating if the need or pain exists. And I like to use the word pain because that's what sells, not just the opportunity of this, and that. Do people want what you're selling? This is a really, really big headwind or tailwind for you. It's either going to help you accelerate your business, your revenue, your startup, or it's going to be a pressure that's going against you trying to grow your business or your startup. If you have to sell something people don't know, don't want, and this is your first startup, you shouldn't be going against the market. You should be going for tailwinds, things that are supporting you, growing industries, AI, just tag AI to it. Most likely going to have some tailwinds behind it, even though it's pretty played out and generic by now. And everybody's doing it. But if it's your first business, pretty much for my general advice to most people, go with the market if you're first starting. Now, we're going to go ahead and use a couple tools here. And the first one I use is Google Trends. And the next one I use is So this is where we're going to be seeing queries from search engines, Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, whoever uses that, and people who just search stuff on ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, all that stuff. You're going to be able to see what people look for in terms of what problem they're trying to solve. So you want to first double check a few things. I use Google Trends to validate the larger macro market trend and demand. And I use Answer the Public to answer the micro issues I'll be solving more specifically. So Google Trends, larger economy, countrywide shifts and changes, trends. And Answer the Public is like a micro, more focused indicator for the specific problems, the specific solutions that people are looking for within the broader scope. For this example, we're going to be sticking with the SaaS landscaping business one. And I will be showing you what I search for and why I search for it. So the topic, the market is landscaping businesses. So you're going to search for that general term, landscaping as a whole. I'm located in Canada, but we work with people from the US too. And if you're doing guess general market demand, go to the US. Even if you're from Canada, it's a lot more predictable. And you can either just sell to the US too. You don't have to just sell to Canada. Even though there's a little bit of difference, I use the United States as the yardstick, the measuring stick for the answers in terms of the market data and such. So we can see landscaping has seasonal demand, as most of us would have guessed, and through the summer, and it dies off during the winter as normal. And it looks pretty good. Oh, by the way, for the distance, I like to go back 2004 to present. This shows a long-term horizon of increased demand or decreased demand or stagnation or whichever. So you'll see here that it's kind of been slowly rising, but pretty consistent. Landscaping seems like it will be in need for a long time. Next, you want to see, okay, so landscaping is a good market to get into. Now we want to see in terms of the services being provided the number of businesses that are out there. You want to start to get some details on the numbers, the people, the needs, and all that stuff. So now we'll see who's searching for landscaping. I usually go about it this way: landscaping businesses. Yes, this definitely dwarfs it, but you can see, okay, there's somewhat of an uptick compared to the past 20 years, 22 years, that there is a higher uptick for landscaping businesses. So it looks like it's okay. It's not enough to tell, but it's there. You could see how to start a landscaping business. That's search term. So we have landscaping businesses, which is the people who write this are usually looking for them. Now, how to start a landscaping business is usually people who are looking to start a business. How to get landscaping clients. Now we could see who is needing clients. The next thing we could see also, we're doing software for sales for the landscaping business. So we could do software or landscaping software. And then we could also see, let's look at other stuff for landscaping, CRM, landscaping, marketing. We're trying to see what people are really searching for. You have to put yourself in the mind of the person who's buying and the person who's in the business providing the services, selling. The buyer and the seller being the business, the buyer being the client. So you have the overall industry, landscaping. Then you go down to, okay, the people buying, the people selling. Now, if we were to remove landscaping as an option, we'll then be able to see more accurate information for the rest. So now we see landscaping businesses. You can see that there's a lot more demand than throughout all of the past history. Landscaping CRM gets some views. Landscaping marketing company gets some views. They're higher than all the past 22 years. Landscaping software is a big indicator. It shows that either the buyer or the seller is looking for landscaping software, which is great because it's second place. So we see that, okay, we need to see if this is the buyer or the seller. If this is an end person, end consumer, homeowner who wants landscaping software, or is this the business who wants landscaping software to run their business? That's when you do the Google test after this. So then you know that landscaping is doing fine, and actually it's on a great trend going upward. Then you want to look at landscaping software and see what comes up, because Google fulfills the intent of the keyword with the results. Like whatever someone's typing, it's not left to imagination. It's what someone's intention is with the words that shows up the results. So if you type landscaping software, you see landscaping software. Grow your landscaping business. Number one software for landscaping. Also looks for B2B. So clearly, this is not an end consumer intent or product. This is for the business, which is a great telling sign. It shows that landscaping software is something businesses use. There's increasing need on the demand side, and there's increasing supply on the people who are searching for landscaping software, because people are searching for this. It's not just Google ads fulfilling on it and there's no one searching for it. Like people are searching for it, and that is a sign that they need it. And they is the landscaping businesses. So now we see that there's supply coming up, and we see that there's demand for the entire landscaping industry going up too. So the businesses would be in good health. Landscaping businesses are in good health. They have a lot of demand, and now they're looking for software to solve that demand. So now that we see, we have all the green flags, and this is actually all you need to go ahead and start this whole process. You don't need to do more than this. If you get all the green flags from what I just spoke about, And what we're seeing here, you don't need to think about it more. You're good to go ahead and pre-sell using the system just based off this. But we're going to take it one step further for you to be fully certain. So we will search for what people search for from Google, pay, click on for ads, and what they search for on AI search engines. So we'll see here, AI models, low maintenance, front yard landscaping ideas. So consumer searching for a company, good sign. How to choose the landscape design software, that's good. That also shows that people are searching, businesses are searching for software. Reviews, affordable, cost of hiring, where to buy plants, top rated landscape material suppliers. It's good. So like the industry is healthy. There's a lot of search. There's a lot of paying intent everywhere too. Landscapers near me. That should be huge. Oh, nice. So we can see that it's doing well. Like this is a great industry to get into. Landscapers near me. People looking for, this is a hiring intent word. Because why else would you be searching for landscapers near you if you aren't looking for options to buy? Yeah, there doesn't need to be any more research past this. You're good to go. If you have stumbled on something like this and you have all these green flags, you're golden. I'm going to screenshot this, put it in the whiteboard. I'll make it accessible in the link in the description so you guys can have a look at it, see the process, see what we do, and you could copy it yourself if you want. So right here, we finished the validation. All right, next up, offer creation. This is where we're going to go through the problems and the solutions. All right, so I came up with a list of problems and solutions that I'm already aware exist in this field, having worked in a lot of industries. But if I were to recommend, where would you guys go look to get a list of problems that exist in the market? I would go to Reddit and Google. And if you have any connections, of course, Messenger connections. Now, in terms of the problems, I'm going to reveal them. But first, if you want to, you can pause the video and try to think, what problems could a landscaping business making over $500,000 a year with 5 employees minimum be suffering from? All right, the first thing that I got is the sales motion, the speed, where between someone booking a call, sending an inquiry, even just leaving a comment or an email, between that and sale and closing them, taking payment, that duration of time would need to be shorter, I'm sure, given the size and how small they are. The next would be sales tracking. And usually smaller companies don't have great sales tracking, let alone any tracking or data on their business's performance in terms of sales and marketing. Usually they don't. So that's quite common. And I'm sure somebody who's Googling for software needs a solution for it too. So tracking the clients they have, the prospects they have, the images they would have taken, the problems that that client is facing, what kind of work needs to be done, contracts, all that stuff. Tracking their client information and progress that increases the sales that they would make and improves the data they collect. Next would be storage. This is something that I am sure is something they would all need because they're taking pictures all day to promote or to save or to show their clients or just to show their team or to show their team what the prospects even want in a clear way. So they need to store all these images, and better storing it on your servers versus their desktops or their phones. Next, they want to drive repeat purchases. That is for sure. Every company wants to drive more repeat purchases. And when you're smaller, you're probably suffering from not having enough of them. Last one is awareness. They're very small. So anything around 500K a year is too small. So they definitely need more marketing. There needs to be more awareness in the public that they exist. Those are the problems that I listed, and those are heavy problems. So you can pause and check what are the solutions, what solutions would you come up with to target each of these. I tied one already just so when I peel off the square, you can see that what I'm thinking and how it ties together. 3, 2, 1. All right. This is the full list. So we have Google My Business Optimizer, which is when people are searching for landscapers near me, their Google page would be showing up. That helps with awareness, and that helps with tracking, and that also gives a lot of exposure in terms of Google, and it gives some data in terms of how many people called, how many people messaged, how many people saw their business in general. My business helps with awareness. It can help with repeat purchases, but I'm not going to tie it to it directly. It's not the real solution for that. Although some of these can help solve many problems, it doesn't directly solve the repeat purchases side, so I'm not going to tag it. Next would be the CRM. So a CRM fixes a lot of issues: sales tracking, client data tracking, repeat purchases for sure, so people can reach out and speak with them. And actually, it also does help with sales motion as well, increasing the speed between a prospect and a client. That's like 4 points just for the CRM. Next, we have an email nurture, introduction, and upsell sequence. So this could be if somebody they give you their email or they send you an inquiry, you could have an email nurture sequence, which sends them emails on your business and how you work and the benefits and what they should be expecting, which would help drive them to think of you more often and to help close them as a client. You have an introduction sequence, which would be when you first get a client, you'll send them email introductions for new clients that you'll just give them benefits, reinforce their decision on working with you and what they should be expecting if they need help, who to contact, so on and so forth. And last one would be upsell sequencer. So for clients that have had a good experience with you, and even the ones who haven't, you could still place them in an upsell sequence where after a year, I think for something like landscaping, maybe you could do every 8 months after the contract is done, because then you'd have an upsell sequence to make them think of you in the wintertime. So when summertime comes, they are ready to go with you. You'd probably have the contract signed in like February, January, depending where you live, which area you're in. So having an upsell sequence will have past clients think of you and probably reorder from you if they want to have any changes done to their property every year. And this would help with repeat purchases. That is for sure. It would still help with awareness because you still need awareness from past clients as well. Next, we have a content generator and poster. So they could link, I was thinking something they could link their Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, maybe some image sharing stuff like Pinterest. I don't know if it works for that industry, but they could try connecting to any social media platform that is relevant to them. And this would post content on their behalf in terms of images, educational stuff. And on top of them, maybe if they upload their images on the platform to save it in form of data storage, then they could use that for content that goes in the content poster. So I thought that'd be pretty cool. That one definitely drives repeat purchases from past clients and prospects. Next, we have a sales script writer. So this could be maybe a hybrid service you tie in with the software, but this essentially would be something that maybe it could be a one-time onboarding thing, or you pay an extra like $500, $1,000 and you write the sales script for their team to go use over the phone and maybe to use if they're doing door-to-door, because it's a door-to-doorable kind of service business area. So you can write the sales script for them and kind of have that as a hybrid, which I think would be beneficial too. Now that would solve the sales motion, AKA speed. So then we have, I'll drag this out so it shows more clearly. This has 1, Google My Business has 1, CRM has 1, 2, 3, 4, email restrictions, sequence and upsell sequence. So I have 2. Actually, this would have 3 because a sequencer reduces the sales motion as well. All right. So we can see we have a clear winner. CRM wins. And then we have the email nurture upsell sequence, which is also huge. So if I were to plan a product right now, we're not going into creation of the product, but if we were going to include the features and the core components of the product, the main features that I will have for sure, is the CRM and the email nurture sequence. Those were guaranteed to be part of the build. No doubt about that. I frankly would include all of them in the build, but if you're going to build out and you need to get to market quickly, I would focus on those two and maybe the content poster if you're able to get it out fast enough. So there we go. You now have, congratulations, your list of solutions to a list of problems that these people are tackling. Now we're going to create the offer. So how do we take these solutions we have and turn it into an offer? So this is the offer section, and we're going to be essentially creating the offer that will make people say yes to just the idea. So first, we're going to be focusing on the simple solution. What is the one core solution that the market would want? Again, we're selling with the tailwind and not the headwind forcing against us, trying to launch something new, innovative, and all that stuff. We're going with the market on this. So what's the one single core solution the market would want? Next, we're going to include a statistic, which benefits from the research we did earlier, that the average owner can save 8 to 10 non-billable hours per week. It could be, you could increase your billable hours per week. You could reduce the time wasted for your employees between sales calls. You could add more reliability to their sales system. You could increase the amount of leads coming through. You could say all this, any kind of statistic that leads to a real benefit, which is usually monetary or time related. Because in the end, you're either selling time or you're selling money, no matter what. A CRM helps them make more money. Google My Business helps them make more money. Sales Script helps them make more money. Email nurture, content generation helps them make more money. It also saves them time. But the focus is that you're only helping them make more money or make more time. Otherwise, what's the gap between the cost they pay you and the result they're getting? Is you helping them increase the result. The result comes through CRM, comes through the channel of email, comes through the channel of sales scripts, comes through all these different avenues to get to the point where all they do is increase how much revenue they make. Are you doing it in the first place? Because they're going to be like, who are you? I don't know you. What's the point? So we're going to be talking about why you launched it in the first place. And you want to give a compelling reason to why you built it in the first place. You want to do it because you either like it, you know, you could help someone with it, you helped out a friend or a colleague or a partner, anything of that sort. You want to have a risk removal because, again, there's a lot of risk with just giving somebody a deposit for something that does not exist. So you're going to have a guarantee that if we don't deliver the product, it's not done by a certain date, we'll give you your money back and you still get your access or all that. Guaranteed. You want to make sure it's guaranteed. That there's no condition on it. You don't want to have them jump through hoops. You either fulfill on the promise to them or they get their money back. There's no question about that. Next, you want to stack up some bonuses, something a little extra just to make it more of an incentive for them to say yes to you. You can say lifetime discount. So when this goes live, you'll stay at the same price forever, or you get the premium account level for the rest of your life. You never have to worry about paying for it. It's completely free just for giving us a chance. You could do some free extras. For example, in this case, you could say, hey, I'll write you the sales script for your team for free, which could be like $1,000 of credit, essentially, $1,000 bonus. And maybe even a status driven title. Could be, you'll be our first 10 supporters and you'll be marked on our platform and featured on our website to make it that much more sweeter for them to join. And then they get some free promotion too. So there's a lot of extra bonuses that you could add in there, even when you have nothing that would make you want to say yes. Because frankly, I would say yes to that. And a lot of people would, and a lot of people have. So trust that, I'm going back a little bit in mindset just to make sure it really nails that you do not need a product to get sales. You need a promise, a very compelling offer, and the thing has to actually solve a problem. As long as you're solving a real problem, you will not have issues getting a sale with these three things and these three things working together. Last thing, you want to have some availability and some scarcity, because something that has an infinite amount of time and abundance, there is no pressure, there's no reason really, unless they're really bleeding and they really need it solved, like they really need what you're promising, then they'll have some urgency, but you still want to add some in there, because realistically, you cannot serve 1,000 people if they all said yes to you. You would not be able to fulfill them. So think of what is the number of people that I'd be able to realistically fulfill on if like 20 people came to me and said they wanted it done, in a month. Try to find a real limited amount of spots that you can comfortably do. And so if it's 20, do 15. If it's like 12, do 10. If it's like 6, do like 4 amount of spots that are open. Because if you're thinking you can do 20, when you start getting into it, you have to solve all the problems, and you have to work on the product, and you have to fix the bugs, and you have to do this, and maybe you get a web developer, and you have to do all this extra stuff. It might take more time than you think. So cut down your estimation by about a third. And then you should be safe to not disappoint these people. And they want to make it clear in the offer at the end that you only have these 5, 10, 50, 100 seats, pre-orders available. And it ends, by the end of next week or next month, or it ends at this day, or by this day it will cost us. So you can switch it up like that. You can play around with that. So I'm going to take this framework and I'm going to build you the offer for this specific area here. All right. So I'm back from writing the offer by using the framework. And now you can see in action that this is what the offer would kind of sound like. You're speaking to somebody or you're on a phone with them, and it's you could use this as your Northern Star guiding line. So I'm inviting 10 landscaping companies to join our founding pilot program. We're building a platform that helps growing landscaping businesses close jobs faster, track every lead, manage customer data, and generate more repeatable business without juggling spreadsheets or multiple tools. The average owner loses 8 to 10 non-billable hours per week to manual sales follow-up, scattered customer information, and admin tasks. That's why we built this. Our goal is to cut that down to 2 to 3 hours per week, so you can spend more time selling and less time managing data. As a founding member, you'll receive lifetime founding pricing, free sales script, fully routine, priority support, founder member status. I like that. If we don't deliver your pilot access by launch date, you'll receive a full refund and keep the bonuses for giving our new startup a chance. We're only accepting 10 companies for this first cohort. Only a few spots remain. You'll put that in. So you can type 3, type 2, whatever. You can put in your call booking link. So book a quick call with me here. You put the link with the words "me here." So this means that it's me here that links to the call booking link. And we can hash out any questions. If you want to secure your spot, a deposit of just $50. Click here. Thanks. This is pretty much like your offer sheet. It's like the sheet you'd be sending them when they want more details. Your offer is not what you send in an email. What you send in an email is it's essentially trying to gauge their interest. You're sending an invitation to gauge interest. You're trying to get email opens, and you're trying to get people to respond back asking for more information. And when they want more information, you send them that with the links to book a call and the link to pay if they just want to go ahead and pay the $50 or whatever. You can change this price, by the way, to whatever you want. This does not have to be just $50. It could be less, but it can be more. I wouldn't go over 100 unless it's like you're selling to really high-end organizations. or people. $100 and more, by the way, not just 100, but if you're selling something like you want $1,000 deposit, maybe $5,000 deposit, you would be selling to a much more affluent demographic. So there's a subject line, pilot program invitation. You can name it case study invitation, but I like the word pilot program because it's basically non-existent. So it's a new program they're coming up. Mr. Bob, hey Bob, I'm inviting 10 landscaping companies to join our founding pilot program. We're building a platform that helps landscaping businesses exactly like yours close jobs faster, track every lead, manage customer data, and generate more repeatable business without juggling spreadsheets or multiple tools. The average owner loses 8 to 10 non-billable hours every week to manual sales follow-ups and scattered customer information and admin tasks. Do you know anybody who'd like to join us? If that sounds at all interesting, reply back and I can send you the details. So you didn't really give them details. You gave them a little bit of the who, the what, and the benefit. Because if one piece is missing, it's kind of broken. If you just say, hey, we have 10 companies and we're doing this, then it's like, okay, but like, what's the point? And like, what do I really need this? They're going to start to think a lot more about giving you objections to what you're posing. But if you say, we're actually tackling this problem with that, then they'll be like, okay, I get it. Tackling this problem, they're doing this, and they're only like reaching out to like a few people just to try something out. Okay, cool. Like, sure. Like, do you know anyone who would like to join us? Because if you're inviting them directly, they're most likely just not going to answer or say no. If you know anyone who would like to join us, not only does it have leverage in terms of you're asking if they are interested and if they know anyone else who would be interested. So for every email you send out, it's like you sent out 2 or 3 because you're sending out the email to one person and then he would think about a circle. And then if he has people, he might actually forward it. Maybe if your offer is good enough and your solution is compelling enough and the problem is bad enough. So you're kind of like tripling the reach with just that one sentence. And then you're setting the bar really low. You're not selling in this email. You're only getting interest. You want people to reply back saying, I'm interested, or send me the details, or interested, I want to know more, or whichever. If that sounds at all interesting, reply back and I can send you the details, which is super low bar. If it's even sounding a little interesting, just reply back and I'll send you the details. So it means that you're not selling them and they're not going to be sold. You're giving them the next step so they have safety in knowing what's coming up next. So that's essentially the email. Now we can proudly close the loop with the offer. And we did touch on a little bit about pitching, but pitching is going to actually be finding the people you want to be sending it to. So while we're waiting for the emails to go out and the responses come in and for me to work them and try to close them into a sale, check the links down below in the description if you want to have us do this for your project, for your business, startup, or if you're at the idea stage. And we work with enterprise companies as well as everyday founders, professionals. So as long as you have an expertise and you want to build a software business for that, we have programs down below that are made to help you. All right, welcome. Now we are in the Apollo dashboard, which is part of the invitation section. So now we have the email. Now we need to find the prospects, and the easiest tool that's free for everybody to use is Apollo, not sponsored by them, but they're a tool that I highly recommend, just especially for getting your foot out there. They're really good. But if you have anything better like Zoom Info or even Instantly.ai, there's a lot of really good options. Apollo, I'd say, is pretty okay just to get your foot in there, get the basics going. So now the purpose is finding people to send the email to. So we're going to go ahead and create a new list. We're already logged in past the dashboard. All you do is just click list. Then we're going to go to the top right, create a new list. And we're going to filter by people. Let's say landscaping first. All right. And now we want to populate the list. We're going to find some people, and then we're going to look at the industry. Industry and keywords. You can say landscaping, or actually they'd be a keyword since they don't have anything like that. Landscaping. So we see all the companies show up. ABM, Hermes, Fresh. But yeah, there's quite a few. You see there's 1.3 million just on the fall. So now there are a ton of companies, and we want to filter them down based on their location as well. So we can just assume US for now, see how many show up. 400,000. So that's a lot of options. Now we can narrow down by the owner. We don't want to email like the guy doing the actual work. All those sub owners do, but we want to make sure we're messaging the owner. So it could be owner. I saw one that even had the title as president. Usually owner, president, CEO, and they can infer who's the owner. So, perfect. Now we're down to 26,775. Still a ton of options. And they're all going to be unique companies because there's only going to be one owner per business. And then last thing we actually want to double check is make sure that their emails are verified. We don't want to send out to people whose email has been updated in 2-3 years. Could be old. Your emails could bounce. They're not verified. We need to go for verified contacts only. Trimmed it by like 30%. So now we're down to 17K. And that's actually a great number to get started with. Let's see if we can narrow it down maybe just a bit more. Education. There's a million ways you could filter them out. Oh, yes, the employee count. So we want to filter it for people that are over 500 employees and more. In this case, for this example, if you're trying to get something to market that's usually something in the cheaper range, something like a SaaS subscription, you can actually benefit from going lower market. You can play around with both and see which one gets you the best response. I'm going to deviate a little bit, and I'm going to go down the lower end as well, which will still have a ton of options. So we see here, this is a great list. We can go ahead and save 25 people, add them to the list. All right. Now you can see we have all their emails right there. You just copy, paste, email. You could email them within the actual Apollo tool itself, or you could just go into your Outlook and your Gmail and send it off. Preferably you have a business email so that it's not just some random person and there's more trust into when they look at as who's sending the email. But you'll see you have access to 25 people, but you get free contacts every day. You just email, send it off, and they're verified by Apollo. So you can just send them off from your email. You're just going to send this off, going to copy paste into whichever email you want to send it to, and then you ship it off. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to show you the responses after 24 hours. All right, it's Chris back. So you can now see that the results are in for the emails, conversion rates, clicks, and also the results through the back and forth emails and some phone calls. But you can see, I hope this proves to you that you can generate income from ideas. You just need to know the system and need to find people that have a desire to solve a problem. If you can solve a problem for somebody, even a promise to do it has some value. As long as you can articulate the pain that someone's going through, their ability to respond back and be more open to what solution you're offering is huge. So if you need more resources on how to do this yourself, you want a better system, you can look through our programs down below, and we have a bunch of resources in the description where you can check it out, get the results for yourself, or where you can work with us if you're looking to have that done for you. Again, my name was Chris with CKI. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.